Welcome to another edition of On My Couch. So, my co host Sue and I really wanted to have the opportunity to talk with super smart people about different topics that we were interested in to expand our knowledge, to expand our sort of interests, and then hopefully we can apply it either in our professional life and also in our personal life as well. So welcome to another edition of On My Couch. My name's Damien. I'm the founder of OMC Group, and what we do at OMC Group is we help people work better together. What we do is leadership development and culture and team effectiveness, but the outcome is always how do we help people work better together? Sue, maybe I'll ask you to introduce yourself.
Thanks, Damien. So, Sue, I've worked in mainly in big commercial organisations over the past 30 plus years, particularly in retail property, but I'm on a couple of not-for-profit boards and also for-profit boards. But I'm really keen to speak with Nina today because I think the opportunity to understand more about small business and what you have to go through and the opportunities and the challenges that you face, particularly in what I would consider an emerging industry as well, or emerging area. So really looking forward to that. Thanks, Damien.
Terrific. Cool. Nina, I'll get you to add to this introduction, but today, thank you very much for joining us. Nina Richardson, who's a founder of Adara Wellness, a naturopath and also a Pilates instructor, and I'm sure many other things as well. So welcome. And just to put some context, this is we've done over 25 episodes, and normally what we do is we talk to people that are sort of mid-career or towards the end of their career, and we explore a whole range of different topics. So as Sue alluded, really excited to actually talk to someone who's probably, maybe closer to the start of her career than Sue and I are, and gain some insight in terms of what you're thinking about. So today, the theme is, how do you, or the rough theme, establishing a brand-driven business with multiple connected offerings. That sounds like a lot of jargon, but that's sort of we thought it'd be great to have you here with us, Nina, to talk about that. So maybe before we get into the topic, what's your story? How did you get here, and what's been your career so far?
Well, yeah, thank you for having me on. What started my career was actually in high school. I was really lucky to do Pilates in year 7. My school offered it as like a sport activity. So that's where I found my love for Pilates. And then I also did a subject called Mind, Body, and Soul, where we learned about CAM, so complementary alternative medicine. And I did an assignment on naturopathy, and I just thought it was really, really interesting. And then later down the track, probably when I was in that year 9, I went through my own health issues, constantly like battling hormonal issues, gut issues, and I went and saw a naturopath. And again, was just fascinated with how you could heal the body from a holistic aspect. Because I'd done all like the conventional medicine, and I'd tried that went through the cycle so many different times. And then, yeah, I fell in love with naturopathy and everything about it. And the two just work so well together.
So I
Cool.
noticed you used the definition. I'm going to say it wrong. I was going to say naturopathy, but quite clearly that's not
No,
right.
you can say that. You can say naturopathy, naturopathy. You can say anything.
Right. So can you tell me about the origins and the evolution of naturopathy?
I'll understand you whatever you say.
Right.
Yeah, so it goes back way back in the day. Traditionally in India, Greece, and China is where it all stemmed from. And then there was a man in America who kind of took the European background and wove in more of a modern aspect to it. But nowadays we kind of look at it as a evidence-based research way of healing rather you've still got your traditional grounds as to the principles that were put out there. We have about 6 different principles that we follow as a practitioner. But that's kind of where it stemmed from in like the 1800s. But yeah, it's more
Right.
so evidence-based research that we kind of push these days.
Okay. And what about Pilates? Given there that your two business opportunities or your two business methodologies, what's different types of Pilates? What's the definition? Where does it fit on that whole? I was going to say yoga, hot yoga, stretching classes. Where does it fit on the continuum?
I guess a lot of people think that Pilates is yoga, and it's anything but yoga. It's more functional, getting like you're still like lengthening and strengthening a muscle, sculpting, toning, all of the good stuff. Um, but that came from a man called Joseph Pilates, and he would have you doing some crazy moves. And he did it a lot during war for rehab for soldiers. And he used reformer Pilates, so that's where you're on the machine. Is
Mhm.
he used more machines in comparison to mat Pilates. He still used mat Pilates as well. But we have different forms. You've got mat, reformer, contemporary Pilates, and clinical, but it has very much had its own transformation. Same with naturopathy, modernizing itself for, the modern day individual, making it more accessible for people. You're not doing as crazy moves. I think the whole contemporary Pilates is what it started off as. Joseph used to call it contrology, and now it's been turned into Pilates, but it's not as structured as what it used to be. I think it's a bit more flowy. People have their own interpretation of how you take Pilates.
Okay. And so why do you think both are growing so much in popularity? Because you're obviously on a winner having both elements to your
Mm.
I
business.
know. It's so crazy. Like when I first started my degree, naturopathy still wasn't that big of a thing. And then nor was Pilates, where I think now coming into like my fourth year of teaching Pilates, it has just blown up like crazy. Like everyone is doing it. I think social media has really helped that aspect. People are wanting to move in a different way that isn't as inflammatory on their body. And maybe getting a bit bored of doing the whole yoga, going to the gym, running. It was just like a new means of movement instead of, I think before Pilates was very clinical, going to your physio and having and not as an not an easier workout, but something that was more tailored for rehab, where now there's a flexibility of doing Pilates just for everyday movement. And then with naturopathy, I think people have kind of had enough of the healthcare system. They want to actually find the root cause of why they're getting reoccurring symptoms rather
Mm.
than putting a band-aid on it. And I think since COVID, that's been a really big push for naturopathy, which has been really nice.
And how do you apply it to your own personal life? How many classes do you need to do a week, and how do you look at your diet, or how do you balance?
Well, for me, balance is one thing. Like, I think everything in moderation, finding balance between the two is really important. I think there's no need to be strict on, your diet or the movement that you're doing in your everyday life. It needs to work into your routine easily, so you're going to be able to, actually want to do Pilates or have those health changes. You have to have that motivation. But for me, I think, I don't know, yeah, just finding balance. I look at things very holistically. I will still have that glass of wine. I'm still going to have that sweet treat. I'm not going to restrict myself because there's no fun in doing that. And then with Pilates, I still practice Pilates, but I think I'm teaching it more so that I'm not practicing it as much. I've kind of gone into my gym era at the moment, but Pilates will always have my heart, and I think it's a great way to implement when you are doing different means of exercise as well.
Cool. And we're not talk about your business because you mentioned that there's two things bouncing around my head. Number one is the quote, everything in moderation, including moderation. So that's how I live my life. And the second thing, Nina, I've got as you know, I've sort of just become addicted to hot Pilates. I have
Mhm.
a theory though with hot Pilates, with Pilates instructors and just gym instructors.
What
My
is the theory?
conspiracy, my conspiracy theory is that and you mentioned the founder of Pilates, getting people into weird positions.
Mm.
I reckon sometimes you guys have a bet to say, can we get the group into this position? Not because it has any physical benefit, but it just looks funny.
Oh, sometimes.
Yeah.
It's definitely entertaining, or like you would just pick the most simple movement sometimes. And the way people interpret it when you're instructing is
Yes.
so entertaining. But
Yeah.
it's really nice to see how people are interpreting like what you're saying in a room. It's
Yeah.
saying like we're all thinking of things so
That's
different.
right. Which is generally why I hide myself in the back corner as much as possible.
It's a
Yeah.
great spot to be in the back corner. Trust me, I'm still going in the back corner when I'm going to a class too.
Right, we better be serious. So let's now talk about business and I'm just as Sue mentioned, you've got to cut the streams, and we want to sort of explore that a little bit more. But you've set up your own business in terms of Adara Wellness, and I was just curious in terms of that's a gutsy move. That's a big move to go and establish your own business.
Yes.
Did you think about joining another naturopathy business, or was it always no, you know what, I've got a set view about what I want to create and I'm going to do that?
I definitely had the thought of that I would work under somebody else, especially as a naturopath.
Hmm.
Always Pilates, I'd work for somebody else for the time being. But
Yeah.
yeah, as a naturopath, I was like, no, I will work under someone else, gain that knowledge and whatnot. But then as I kind of developed my Pilates career, I was like, I want to build a business and put the two in together.
Yeah.
As I know, eventually I want to start to open up my own studios, a big wellness hub, combining the two together later down the track.
Oh, really?
So I thought I might as well just start building my brand up now, getting the awareness out there and
Hmm.
see, when I could eventually, do my own studio.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think I enjoy working for myself. I'm quite independent. I'm a bit stubborn. I don't enjoy being told what to do, unfortunately.
Right.
So I think for myself, it's better that I am working for myself, but there is mentors that I can always go refer to, like get myself help if I were to need it in, say, like Pilates or naturopathy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Adara, sort of, maybe what's the meaning behind the name?
It's my middle name actually.
Oh,
So
really? There you
mum
go.
and dad, a great middle name.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I was struggling for a really long time thinking of a name for my business, and I don't know what's really drawing to me. And then it originally started as Adara Pilates before I'd finished my degree, and
Hmm.
then we turned it into Adara Wellness because it kind of opens up more of revenues later down the track. So now I've got, yeah, both Pilates and naturopathy together.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And what's the origin of Adara? That's out of curiosity.
I think it's Spanish, but I can't actually remember. I should know, but I'm pretty sure it means beautiful or something in Spanish. Like it's a Latin name. Yeah.
Let's run with that. Let's
Yeah.
run with that.
We'll go with that.
Yeah, just say it confidently and everyone will believe it.
Exactly right.
Yeah. And then, when we sort of doing some prep for today, you had a look at your website and also your Instagram, which is, sensational in terms of brand and how it looks.
Mhm.
And interesting, how did you land on the different streams? Because you talk that, you actually do events with Pilates, collaborations and endorsements. I mean, did that evolve, or has that always been part of your thinking in terms of establishing this business and this brand?
The events was never on my cards. I never thought that I was going to run events,
Yeah.
but start of the year, I moved back from living in Queensland, and Geelong just didn't really have many events happening in terms of like the health and wellness as a Pilates instructor or as a naturopath. And I
Yeah.
started doing free beach Pilates down in Eastern Beach. And they blew up. I was having like 40 people come to these sessions once a month. And,
Wow.
and I got in trouble by the council because you're only supposed to allowed to have 20 people. So I had to cut back,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But it was just really nice to build a community it's like in a smaller town, like Geelong's
Mhm.
definitely growing. So I thought that was really fun. And I was like, oh, there's definitely potential to do, some paid events.
Yeah.
And that's when I came up with the idea of a Dara Wellness series. So I've
Mhm.
done two of those, combining both Pilates and naturopathy. And
Yeah.
I speak to a different topic each time I run the event. So I've done one on the
Yeah.
nervous system, and I've done one on like women's health, talking about hormones, understanding your reproductive cycle, which was a big one.
Yeah.
And then a lot of my events have purely just been Pilates based, but
Yeah.
a lot of them are free events. I
Right.
enjoy doing them out of passion. I feel like I'm getting paid by meeting different people, connecting with other brands, and
Yeah.
just finding like seeing people be happy moving their bodies and connect with other people feels
Yeah.
like a payment to me. Which,
Yeah. Okay, great. And
yeah.
then, and so I'll hand back to you in a minute, but last question, um, on your website and also on your Instagram, you clearly you partner and you attract like-minded businesses
Mhm.
to collaborate. How do you go about doing that? Is that a formal arrangement, or is it more about, hey, we've got shared aspirations, so let's just work on trust? How formal do you get with those type of collaborations?
Some of them are formal and some of them aren't, but
Okay.
I've been really grateful in a lot of them have been the ones that are reaching out to me,
Okay.
and asking to send me products. And I only ever
Right.
work with brands that I feel aligned with that I'm going to be using myself. I don't want to promote a brand that I don't fully support or I'm not
Yeah.
going to be using myself because I think obviously false advertising.
Yeah.
Um, But it's been a great way. There's been a couple of businesses in Geelong, like I've been lucky enough to work with LSKD Geelong, doing
Hmm.
a few events with them, and they're an amazing team. And there's so much growth that's been able to have from my business, getting it out there through
Hmm.
them. But then a lot of them have been just supplement companies, activewear, as well. And it's kind of just they send me stuff and then I'll go create content from it as well. But a lot of them we
Yeah,
don't have a contract with.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Does that mean you're becoming an influencer?
Slowly, yes. I would
Wow.
say I'm a micro influencer at the moment.
Micro. That's impressive. That's
Yeah,
impressive.
it's definitely fun, and I enjoy the whole content creating side of things. It's a great way to draw brand awareness in this day and
Mm.
age. Yeah.
Yep.
So what you referred to a degree. What's your formal qualifications, or what did you study at university?
At university, I studied a Bachelor of Health Science, specializing in naturopathy, and I did that at Torrens University. And
Okay.
then for Pilates, it's a certificate in mat and reformer as well.
Well, okay. So I'm curious then about the business side of it, because they're very, I would say, more scientific qualifications. So where did you learn your business skills, and how have you started to build your business so far? What have you relied on?
I'm very lucky that my mum has her own business, so she's been a big inspiration to learn from. She was kind of like, "Are you sure, Nina, you want to start doing your own business?" And I was like, "Well, look at you. You've been in the industry for years, and she's so successful in what she's done." That was really
What's her
motivating.
business? Do you want to give her a plug?
She is M&R Distributors, so she is in hospitality and automotive industry,
Okay.
distributing
Wow.
oils and all of that. Yeah, so quite impressive. My sister
Mm.
also has her own business as well. So mum's inspired us to, go on our own 2 feet and, make something of ourselves, which is quite fun. Yeah.
And so what are the key things to growing a business? So what strategies do you, and what approaches do you take? And so, are you doing the same thing now that you were doing when you first started, or how has it evolved, and what levers do you pull to be successful?
I think running a lot of ads is something that I've kind of tapped into as of recently.
Mhm.
My own I think social media has been the biggest thing to get my brand up and running. Um, yeah, I've been running ads in this last, few months, and I've seen a big growth from the social media, and then that shifts to people going to your website, sending out newsletters to people. I tried doing the whole flyers thing, slowly getting through like word of mouth, which is really nice, but I think it takes time, especially being an online naturopathic clinic. It's not going to happen to say if I was doing face-to-face consults in Geelong. Um, but in terms, I've just wrote down like my whole business model, understanding like where I can stem my revenue from, what my key points are, finding a target audience has been a big one. So women's health is my main focus as to where I kind of drive my ads because they're the people that I'd want to be seeing, especially in terms of naturopathy.
Well, that's amazing. Obviously, yeah, social media has probably been a game changer, and I'm guessing your website, well, digital media, I should say, has been the big game changer. And so, that would be your key way of, and word of mouth? I'm guessing word of mouth would be up there in terms of references for you.
A little bit of word of mouth. I've been connecting with other businesses in Geelong and saying like, look, like I'm a naturopath, especially like skin clinics. I'm a naturopath. If you have any patients, like we can do like a referral method, which has been really beneficial. And then yeah, just social media. The website's great, but I think Instagram's probably the biggest way to draw clients these days, which is it's fun. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
out of curiosity, who does is that something, I mean, having my own business, right? There's always a challenge around the cost efficiency of doing things yourself versus outsourcing and paying experts. So what's your approach in terms of your branding and specifically sort of Instagram? Is that something that you do yourself or you've outsourced it?
I do all my Instagram posts myself.
Okay.
But as for like the branding, creating the website, my sister is in marketing and all of that. So she has helped me, build my logo, build my website. And then I've invested in someone to run ads for me
Okay.
this last couple of months, which has
Yep.
been beneficial because it's something that I don't have as much knowledge in, finding the direction of who I should be pushing it for and understanding all the analytics behind the scenes. So I'm happy to pay someone to push those. so I can focus on getting the clientele and doing the things that I know I can do well and have someone
Yeah.
else outsource.
Great. So if it's, if you think about what you've achieved, your insights so far,
Mhm.
what's been your biggest achievement, do you think? What are you most proud of in terms of Adara Wellness?
I think running the events has been something that I'm most proud of. I
Mhm.
had my favorite event today, which was my 1 year last month, and it was just so fun to celebrate. It was just purely a Pilates and Prosecco event. It was quite fun. And great combination, like
Yeah.
might add. But it was just really fun to be able to celebrate being a year into business, seeing where, a year ago I would never have thought that I'd be running into the events that I had and have the collaborations with big brands like LSKD, Tropika. I think they've really helped me boost my confidence.
Yeah.
Well, so brand
Right.
collaborations and events. Yeah.
Biggest learning so far?
You can't be pushing everything at once.
Right.
So I was trying to open up, doing the Pilates events, doing the naturopath consults, doing
Mhm.
Pilates mentoring, and then I have so many other ideas that I want to put out there that I've learned that I just need to take it one thing at a time, like do one thing really well and
Yeah.
then move on to the next.
Yep. Cool. And what about the biggest challenge? What's been the hardest thing so far, do you think?
I think financially, it's been quite not, it's been tough, but just being able to have the capacity to do different things. Like the event space, you don't make as much money as what I was hoping to. Like
Mhm.
you've got to factor in like money in, money out. But yeah, probably the financial side of things, which will
Okay.
all happen in time. Like it's only been a year.
Yeah, I don't think you're the first business to have challenges with with with,
No,
with, with, with revenue and expenses.
you have to really think wisely about it. And I think that's been a great challenge for me to understand that you can
Yep.
still do things on a budget.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Sue?
What's the most common question you get asked as a naturopath?
Oh. I get asked a lot of funny questions, or just like any questions in general. It would either be something to do with weight loss or, balancing your hormones is such a big one out there at the moment. So they're probably my two questions that I'd get asked the
Yeah,
most.
I think when we spoke earlier, I was talking about all the stuff that I'm seeing on Facebook. Now, it's obviously the algorithm's working because I've clicked on something at some point in time, but
Always
you know,
listening.
yeah, yeah, there's some magic stuff that can do that can
Mm,
basically solve all of your challenges. And I'm guessing people probably use you as a bit of an expert, a subject matter expert on what to believe.
Yes, 100%. People love like once you start talking to them, they hear that you're a naturopath and they come and ask you these all their questions and everything, tell you all of their symptoms, give you the whole life story, and it's kind of like you've got to have the boundaries sometimes to be like, look, you need to book a consult because we've gone away and studied a big degree. You can't just give away your information for free.
Mhm.
Um, Definitely always more than happy to give, generic advice, but I think, you've got to get another client out of it if you can.
That's right. And so would you say that's the biggest misconception that they don't understand the investment that you've made in terms of your learning and development and the qualifications that you've achieved?
I think so. I think people think it's a lot of witchy woo-woo stuff. And like we're sitting there with a big potion bowl and doing all these weird spiritual things, which is not the case. We are definitely mixing up potions, as Damien, you'd know,
yes. Yep.
which they're great, but it's definitely not witchy woo-woo stuff. We're very scientifically backed in what we're saying to our patients. We are giving them evidence and educating them from a deeper level. And yeah, I think a lot of people tend to take advantage of us because they don't understand that we do, like, it's a 4 year degree. And I wouldn't say we're learning all the exact same things as a doctor, but we learn about the pathophysiology of how the body is working, all the different mechanisms in the body to say, this herb's going to work with this nutrient will work for this, and how everything goes within the body. So I think people just don't think of it on a deeper level. But the
Mm.
education's happening. I think we just need to, as naturopaths, educate people on it a little bit more.
Mhm. And what can you share a success story about a positive impact that the combination of both your fields have, or is one you've got more success in one area than another?
Mhm. I feel like with my own patients in naturopathy, I'm not ever referring them to go do Pilates as of
Mhm.
yet. Like they do go hand in hand, but I think I've probably had more success stories in terms of the naturopathy side because I do work under somebody else for my Pilates that I just kind of leave that. Like they're coming in for fun for Pilates, it's not
Mhm.
clinical, so I don't really get to see them with an injury and have them reduce all of their symptoms. But
Mhm.
definitely with naturopathy, I have more success stories, especially I see a lot of girls with acne and it's quite cystic, it's really inflamed, and they've got really low confidence that once we've done a good 3 months of treatment, their skin's starting to clear up and being able to see them feel confident in themselves is really empowering as a naturopath because it just shows it goes so much more deeper within to heal the body and get them to get to the root cause of their symptoms to have them feeling good again.
That would be very rewarding, I'm guessing, seeing someone come in with a particular ailment and then
Mhm.
leaving almost a different person. That must be very rewarding.
It fills your cup up very easily, which is fun.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Cool. Nina, thank you. We could keep on. There's more questions that I've got. Sue, have you got any more questions? Is there anything that you wanted to explore a little bit more?
No, I think it's been really enlightening.
So, this is your opportunity to give Adara Wellness a plug. So, if people, want to learn more, reach out to you. How do they get in contact?
Social media is probably the easiest way.
Yep.
Adara.wellness is my Instagram, is how I connect with a lot of my patients and individuals through my events. But then you've got all my details on my websites to book in naturopath consults, adarawellness.com.au. But even an email is always an option for anyone
Yeah.
that's not on social media. Hello.
For the old people, is that what you're saying?
No, we don't categorize anyone into young or old. But hello at adarawellness.com.au is my email address, which is a great way to stay in contact as well.
Cool. Hey, thank you, Sue. Your takeaway from today. What did Nina get you thinking about in terms of our discussion today?
So I'm not sure who said it, whether it was you or Nina, but that everything in moderation, including moderation,
It was me.
was
Yep.
you. Okay,
Yeah.
there you go. That resonated through our conversation, and I think Nina alluded to at the start. It's not about not doing certain things; it's about balance, and I
Mhm.
think that's a great takeaway because sometimes you go hard in one particular way, and you give up too quickly because it's too hard because you haven't been balanced. So that
Mhm.
was my takeaway for today.
Yep, awesome. Nina, thank you so much. Really appreciate your time. Sue, thank you once again for joining me. If you want to learn more about OMC Group, our website is omc-group.com.au, and we look forward to bringing you our next episode of On My Couch. But Nina, Sue, thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.